Hey gang, on today's episode, we're going to be working on the brakes. Going to get that brake booster mounted, going to get the new master cylinder mounted onto that, and we're going to get all the front brake lines ran and get the rear lines hooked up to the proportioning valve the way they're supposed to be and got rid of that ABS unit. So we're going to work on that. I'm going to show you guys how to flare fittings. We're also going to show you how to bench bleed a master cylinder. So if you don't really know how to do that stuff, stay tuned. And even if you do know how to do it, stick around and watch us get this thing put together. So we're going to get these brakes done, and then we'll jack it up and we'll bleed them. So let's get to it. I'm WhiteWall Steve, and this is my Good Enough Garage. Alright, so I've had a pretty eventful morning. My heater decided to take a crap on me, so I had to try and go find a new one. Every place was sold out of these damn things. So I managed to get one from a friend of mine so I could actually get working on the truck today. So big thanks to Sean. Without you, man, I'd probably be sitting in the house twiddling my thumbs today. So got a new one on order, but for the time being, Sean's letting me borrow his. So thanks a ton, man. Anyway, we're going to work on getting this brake booster mounted, the Corvette master cylinder bolted up to that. And then we're going to get all the lines done, get all that done. Then we're going to have to pull that master cylinder back off and bench bleed it to get all the air out of inside that master cylinder. And then once we do that, bleed the whole system once we get that master cylinder back on. Let's hop to it.
She's been a good ride, but it's time to let her go. Make an offer and she'll be yours. She's got problems, don't expect no smooth trip. She pulls to the left. If you fire up and you go for a ride, you might just find yourself alive. Time to tread her in, but it's so hard to let go. She still looks down the road. Yeah, she ain't much to see, it's so sentimental now. My mind for miles, just speeding town. And if you fire up and you go for a ride, you might just find yourself alive. Could lose your minds. She needs love. She needs.
Okay guys, so show you what I got going on here. Ran into a little bit of a snag. I have to I'm running a smaller 3/16 line to the proportioning valve for the front lines, and then I'm going to run 3/16 line out of the bottom. I got all my fittings squared away for that. However, on the rear, it's a little bit different because it takes a bigger line, and I want to keep this consistent at least. So I need to find a fitting that goes into this, and it's a much smaller line because originally it was a small line that went into this, and then what came out of here went to the ABS unit, which would have been like right here. I need to try to find the correct fitting to go into here that uses the 1/4-inch line, because I'm not sure. I mean, I'll do my research, but I'm pretty sure I want to keep that 1/4-inch line since what's coming out of here is going to be 1/4-inch. I'm going to work on just getting this line made up, the lines for the front, and get the rear line connected to here. So I'm going to have to try to either find a 1/4-inch fitting that uses this type of threads and size, or make an adapter, or do something. So what do you say we get rolling and try to get this all set up? Okay guys, so I'm going to show you guys how to get this all flared up, and we're going to put it into this adapter going to the bottom of the proportioning valve. First thing you want to do is always make sure you put your nut on first. Make sure that nut fits into there. Okay, fits good. Then you want to take that, always make sure you put it on that line, and then you can flare it. You don't want to get that flared and then not have your nut on there. Next thing you're going to want to do is this is 1/4-inch line, so you're going to look for your flare tool that looks like that, and you're going to look for where it says 1/4. So you're going to want to put that in the 1/4 hole, okay, and then clip that over like that, and then make sure it's snug. Make sure both of them are nice and snug. Then we're going to be doing a double flare, so you got this adapter right here. You want to use that adapter, make sure it's your 1/4 for 1/4 line, and you want to, there's like a little ridge right here. You want this ridge, you want the line to be sticking up just as much as that ridge. So if it's a little tall, you want to try to do that. And snug it back up. Okay. And once you got that done, you also got this tool. This is the second part of the tool. You're going to want to take this and see where it's got this little nipple sticking out. You're going to want to stick that inside the line. And then you want to make sure your wing nuts are nice and snug and tight. You don't want the line slipping. Okay? Then you take this, put it over top of there like that, and you want to screw it into the line. You want to try to keep that adapter, with the little nipple end, you're going to want to try to keep that somewhat straight as you can. And then you want to basically just crank her down. Until she's tight. Okay, then once you're snug, you pull it back off. Okay, pull that out and you'll see you got a nice bubble flare there. Then you basically do the same thing but without the adapter. And you basically just tighten it up. Till it's nice and tight. Then you pull it back out. Okay. Undo your wing nuts. And pull that off. And boom, you got yourself a nice flare, nice double flare. And that should screw right into here. And of course I'm having a tough time with it. Oh, come on, you bastard. And you start to screw it in. And there you go. But that's how you flare a pipe end. Pretty simple. Nothing crazy. And yeah. Next up, we're going to go ahead and get this line made from the master cylinder to the proportioning valve for the front brakes. So let's go ahead and get that done. Okay guys, so off camera, I went ahead and got this line made up here. I put a little loop-a-doop in it, just how the rear one was. You probably don't need that, but it looks more factory that way. It comes down here to a T-fitting, and that T-fitting right there, I'm going to have a line that goes from here to the right side, and from here over top of the frame to the left side. And then I'm also going to work on making this little line that goes from here to the prop valve. It's going to be kind of just like this one. And it's going to be 3/16. And I managed to get the fitting I needed. So what do you say we get to that? Start getting this thing so we can get this master cylinder bled.
Your eyes are divine, and I try, but I can't deny that your voice is my choice of what I wanna hear every day. And when you laugh, you make the past fade away just like that. And when I look into your eyes, all I see is you and I. And our silhouettes in the moonlight. Can I hold you tonight? The stars shine bright, it's so, so right with you in my arms tonight. You keep me warm instead the coldest of times. You hold me closest, and I know that you're. And your heart is a part of mine, and with you I feel alive. And your soul's beautiful, and I know that with you I'm not alone. And when you laugh, you make the past fade away just like that. And when I look into your eyes, all I see is you and I. And our silhouettes in the moonlight. Can I hold you tonight? The stars shine bright, it's so, so right with you in my arms tonight. You keep me warm instead the coldest of times. You hold me closest, and I know that you're.
Alright, I got the brake lines all done. Did them off camera. I'm sure you guys didn't want to see me fiddling with that and swearing at myself when I messed up a line. Or a couple of times I forgot to put the nut on before the flare. But whatever, it happens. So what do you say we go in, check out, I'll show you what I actually did. Then we're going to get to bench bleeding that master cylinder. I did all these lines nice. I got the T-fitting, but I got this line bent up over that part of the frame, and then up over that part of the frame. Looks really nice. And one thing I also did is I picked up some of these clamps. You can usually pick these up at like Harbor Freight or a hardware store or something like that. And they got the nice rubber on them so I don't crush anything or mess anything up. And they're pretty inexpensive. So what do you say we get this master cylinder off and bench bleed it, and I'll show you guys how to do that right now. And this pretty much goes for any master cylinder on any car. You always have to do this before it goes on to the car if it's brand new, because there's going to be air inside the cylinder, inside the master cylinder, if you don't do this, and then you're going to be fighting for ever trying to get it to work. The new master cylinder always comes with these lines, so you're going to want to utilize those lines unless you have a set of designated lines for this already. But I didn't. Came with these really janky fittings, so I'm really hoping they don't leak. So we'll find out. But anyway, so you want to take your brake fluid. I'm using .3, which is pretty much the standard. You want to fill up both bowls of the master cylinder. Definitely want them high enough so that the hoses are submerged. Then you want to take something like a screwdriver or extension or a screwdriver or something really, really big. And you want to push in to the piston here. When you push in, what it does is it creates fluid going through these hoses and pushing in. And you end up getting bubbles. I don't know if you can see them on camera or not, but you get bubbles in the fluid. Keep doing that a few times. And you're going to kind of want to do it relatively slow to get all the air out. Okay, and once you have no bubbles left, you're pretty much set. So all we're going to do is we're going to take these lines back off, put the cap back on, and then we're going to get it put back on the car, pretty much settle it, and have it all set so that we can bleed the whole system. That's how you bench bleed a master cylinder. Okay, and with that, the master cylinder is bled and mounted, and all the brake lines are done, and this thing's got a full brake system now. All that's left to do is jack this thing up and bleed the whole system, but that's pretty much like watching paint dry, so I'm going to do that off camera. Big thanks to my buddy Charlie for letting me use his special flaring tool to get this thing all set up without having to do the hand cranking and all that. So big thanks to you, Charlie, for letting me get that and get this done a little bit faster. Also, be sure to check out Drop Shop Clothing. They're giving you 25% off all in-stock items between now and February 14th. So be sure to check them out and get yourself some awesome hoodies, t-shirts, and hats. Mention WhiteWall Steve and get that 25% off all in-stock items. Check them out at facebook.com/dropshopclothing. That's going to do it for this episode. Be sure to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell so you're always up to date on what we got going on in the garage. And until next time, I'm WhiteWall Steve, and thanks for tuning in to the Good Enough Garage. Good enough.